Welcome back to the D.R.E.A.M.S Podcast. Today we have a very special guest, man. My name is Jackie Mitchell. I got my co-host Scott Cloverman. How you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, man. I'm here. Yeah. Salute.
Good deal. Slow boogie, man. So for those who are joining us for the first time, for those who are joining us again, like I said, welcome back to the D.R.E.A.M.S Podcast, where we look past the trophies and everything. But this is from locker room to reality. And today we have someone that is of stellar human, someone who's done it the right way, continue to do it the right way. And as I say, when we look past the trophies, we find true grit behind the greatness. Today, we're joined by a living sports icon, people. In the NFL, he repped his hometown, Cincinnati Bengals. In the CFL, he didn't just play the game. We wrote the entire record book. He's a Canadian Football Hall of Famer, a league MVP, all-time professional king of touchdowns with an astonishing 147 trips to the end zone. Today, you know him as the sharp, charismatic, and always immaculate voice of TSN. Behind the legendary fitness, the 6 guarantees, and the bright studio lights is a man who's navigated the highest peaks of athletic stardom, deepest valleys of personal loss. He's a turtle man himself, the legendary Mr. Milt Stegall. Welcome to D.R.E.A.M.S Podcast, sir. Thank you.
Man, I appreciate that introduction. Hey, man, I wish I could wake up every morning. You right there at my door giving me that introduction. Regardless how my next day went, I'm gonna have a good day after that, boy.
I appreciate it. And tell TSN to put me on the payroll. I'll do it anytime for you, brother.
On the payroll, we need to get you in the pulpit being a pastor or something, boy.
Oh man, no, everybody said that, man. Everybody said that. I'm like, man, if that's my calling, that's my calling. But as of right now, I'm enjoying what we're doing, man. But thank you, and man, welcome to the show, Milt. How's everything?
Man, everything is great, man. I appreciate you guys having me on, man. Both of you guys, we have a long history. Scott and I played together, of course. Jackie, I probably burnt you about 10, 15 times, but we got a great history together, brother.
I got a story. I just covered. I do have a story.
Oh, shoot.
But no, it's great to be on with you guys, man. Just looking forward to having some good conversation. And like you said, going beyond football. But I'm excited to be on with you guys, definitely.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He said 10 to 15, Scott.
He said 10 to 15. I was like, what was it? Woo! All
right.
We'll get into that.
If I share something with you, I'll share it later. But it wasn't 10 to 15. But I do have a story.
Hey. Oh man! First of all, that was a great intro. You had me ready to put my helmet. I got my helmet.
What?
I was about to put him. I was about to strap him up. Man, I was like, "Whoa!" You had me ready. But man, yeah. First of all, thanks again, Milt, for coming on and joining us, man, and giving us your time. I have to just first make a comment before I ask a question, rather a statement. I have to, give you your flowers on this front. We've been around a lot of football players, a lot of athletes, professional athletes, and you were one of the guys, as we say in this day and age, always kept the main thing, because it's so easy to get wrapped up in the all the extracurricular activities. I had a guy once told me, he says you got two different athletes, professionals, and you got lifestyle. And lifestyle athletes don't last. And to be able to maintain your discipline throughout the years, especially in a city like Winnipeg, and Slouch, you're a good looking guy, right? I'm not,
I agree 100%. That's the one thing Jackie left out, the prettiest man in CFL history, but continue.
Exactly.
I'll make it up, bro.
But I have to go on record and say, for sure. People need to know, man, that it's not easy. I always say it's one thing when, a guy who's not in the spotlight, it's a little bit easier. But when you have a gentleman like yourself who's, CFL Hall of Famer, the Ring of Honor, hell, they gave you the key to the city. So you see what I'm saying? You got to keep the city. So for you to maintain that discipline, man, just much respect to you. That's not easy to do. So I wasn't so disciplined. I was disciplined in my work ethic, but hey, it's rough. It's rough out there.
Streets were calling, huh? The streets were calling.
They call you. It's tough. It's tough to run away. but tell me this, man. But growing up, being the 4 other siblings, and you being the youngest, the 5th youngest kid, like what was that like growing up? I mean, did you get all the hand-me-downs? Did you learn a lot of lessons? Kind of talk about your upbringing and kind of that experience.
Well, when you gave me my flowers, you were talking about my discipline, and that comes from my upbringing, from my parents. And I remember when I was young, my parents used to always say, when you look back on life, you don't ever want to say, I wish I would have did this or I wish I would have did that. So that's why I was so diligent and so disciplined with my craft and everything I did, because at the end of the day, I just wanted to be able to say I did everything I could possibly do to be successful. Now, was I successful or not? I don't know, but I did everything I could possibly do. That's why I was so diligent and so so stuck on making sure I was doing everything right. As far as growing up, I was spoiled. I mean, I thought we were rich. We definitely weren't, but I thought we were rich because my parents they provided everything for me and my 4 siblings. My parents they didn't have much growing up. My father was born in 1922 in rural Georgia. His grandmother was a full-fledged slave, so he came from the dirt. My mother was born in 1935 in Cincinnati, so they came from nothing. So they just wanted to make sure that me and my older siblings had everything we could possibly have. They made sure all the kids went to college and graduated with no debt. I mean, unfortunately, me and one of my sisters were on scholarships, but the other 3 graduated with no debt. They provided for us. Yes, there was some struggle along the way, but that struggle just made us stronger. But they provided a lot for me, and it just instilled in me that I have everything in front of me to be successful. My parents did it with nothing. They provided for me with all this stuff, so I'm gonna make sure I'm successful in every possible way. So I had a good upbringing. Like I say, there were some struggles. Sometimes I didn't even know about it. There were times where our house almost got foreclosed on, but I didn't know about it because they said you were a kid and you shouldn't know about that. That was a grown-up problem. So I had a pretty good upbringing. I won't lie. Like I said, there was some struggle, but for the most part, my parents and even my older siblings, because some of them was much older than me, they instilled in me that if you go out there and work hard and you sacrifice, you can obtain anything in life.
That's solid, man, and that's great advice. And like you said, the humble beginnings allow you to extend that, not want to mess it up for those who had shared and those you're carrying that torch for, man. So thank you for sharing that. My question is, you started your pro career with in your hometown Cincinnati Bengals in the NFL. After missing, it's crazy because prior to us getting on, you was telling us about a particular injury. So kind of the same thing in Cincinnati, hamstring injury. You get a hamstring injury in camp. It's basically 24, 25 years old. You don't know if your career is over, and then the next thing Winnipeg calls you. A place you knew nothing about, or almost knew nothing about. When you look back at the exact moment of uncertainty, how did you mentally shift from the NFL to the CFL? And it's not the point of the NFL dream slipping away, but you basically built a Hall of Fame legacy in the CFL.
Yeah.
What did that low point teach you about that dream and that instance?
Well, the hamstring injury happened when I was in Green Bay. So after my 3 years with Cincinnati, I went to Green Bay. I was in training camp with them, then I got the hamstring injury. And I thought my football career was over. I had heard of the CFL, but I didn't know much about it. They had showed it on like ESPN4, some 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I remember seeing Warren Moon or Doug Flutie, whoever it may be. So I didn't know anything about it. So I thought my football career was over. And then I get a call from my agent telling me there's a team in the CFL who has your rights and they want you to come up there and play. And many people have heard this story. I was like, so which team is it? I had been in Toronto before, and Montreal. He said, it's Winnipeg. Many people have heard me say this. My exact words. I said, what is a Winnipeg? What is a Winnipeg? I had no clue, had no idea about it. But I mean, besides marrying my wife and my wife having my two sons, that was the best decision I ever made in my life. It's still paying dividends to this day. And as far as the switch goes, I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you. I mean, I thought I was about to go up here and it was going to be a second class league. These players were going to be garbage. I was going to go up here and destroy it. And that definitely wasn't the case. It took me about 18 games to get used to, especially being in that slot receiver position. It took me about 18 games. It wasn't an easy transition. It was very difficult learning the different nuances of it, the motion. I remember my first game. I'd been up there like 5 days and I played. First game against Calgary. I didn't know all the rules. They didn't tell me all the rules. I'm back there fair catching the ball. Luckily, somebody's back there telling me you can't fair catch it. I didn't even know I couldn't fair catch the ball. So there were a lot of different things I had to get used to, but it was the best decision of my life signing in Winnipeg and playing 14 years. Like I said, besides marrying my wife having my two sons, because it's still allowing me to flourish and be a great individual and do great things in Winnipeg to this day. So don't get me wrong. Growing up, we all dream about playing in the NFL and having a long career, and I got to play in the NFL. But the fact that I played 14 years in the CFL in Winnipeg, man, that was truly a blessing from God, without a doubt.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, no, man, I got to witness this stuff firsthand, and just your tenacity, and then on the flip side, your generosity. Obviously, it seems like I have a few statements, and with regarding giving you your flowers and thanking you. I just want to thank you on camera for, the way you helped me when I came to Winnipeg. I remember my first game we were playing against Jackie, actually in Saskatchewan. And I was there for like 2 days.
2 days.
You're telling me where to line up, where to go, and a lot of guys won't help you like that. We know, I've seen on a number of shows, guys talk about, former players and their teammates where guys are telling them the wrong things to do on purpose to get them cut, and I was telling Jackie about this. I will never forget, because I don't know if you remember, you were my roommate on that road trip, and you had a cell phone deal, and back then, this is 2005, man. The cell phone, you could, it was
expensive,
but you had
about $50 a minute.
Yeah, but you had a deal. So man, you let me use your cell phone. It was like I was in jail. I'm like, oh, I used to make a call. So, yeah, man. It was. I'll never get that, man. I was excited because to call home. So no, man, I just appreciate that, man. I'll never forget that, man. And then it's just such a small world, because, I was telling Jackie this. I actually met you through Rob Robertson. Yep. When I was playing with the Washington Redskins, and I was in Atlanta training, and met up with him, and you were with him, and it just so happened we ended up playing together a few years later, man. Such a small world, huh? And so, yes, but I just kind of want to talk about, very similar to our last guest we had on the show, Mr. G. Roy Simon. I'm not here to talk about who's number one and who's number two.
You don't need to talk about it. You don't need to talk about it. He knows I'm number one. Come on. They don't need to talk about it. There's no argument. Put it like this. He's a close second. I'll give him that. He's a close second. He's not far behind.
We'll give him that. All right, we'll give him that. I guess he didn't get the key to the city, so
he's still locked out. He's still trying to get in. So
he's still. Hey, I was looking at you guys' like your numbers, and you both were very, very similar. You both went on a 9-year stretch where you just went on a tear, and I just I mentioned that to him as well. And I just, anytime you get an opportunity to play professional football, you understand how hard it is. Number one, just to get there. Number two, to stay is even harder to stay. But to go on a 9-year stretch where you're consistently well over 1,000 yards, that's absolutely amazing to me. So just kind of talk about kind of your the preparation and the mindset it took to be able to kind of to maintain that type of productivity.
Yes, and just a quick story about G-Roy. I don't know if he told you this, but G-Roy almost got cut his second year. I don't know if he told you this. So he came to Winnipeg in '99, and G-Roy came out of the gate. He was a starter, but G-Roy was in them streets. He was in them streets, and they ended up putting him on the practice roster, and he played a little bit. We come back the next year. We're in the second preseason game. The head coach at the time, Dave Ritchie, he told me right to my face, he was like, if G-Roy does not go out and ball in this game, I'm cutting him. He was going to get cut. G-Roy went out and balled out, and the rest is history. So I just want to tell you a little story about that. But as far as maintaining and keeping that, when you get to the top per se, staying there is you got to act like you're not there. You got to act like somebody's going to take your job every single day. You got to act like you're not that guy. Because once you think you're the guy, once you think you made it, it's downhill. So every day I went to work, every day in the off season, my mindset was, I got to beat somebody out. I got to get better every single day. I'm not trying to be great. I wasn't trying to be the greatest. I was just trying to be better than I was the day before, because that's all you can do. So it wasn't about being the best, because I wasn't trying to be that. I was just trying to be better than I was the day before. And I knew when I went in every single day, somebody's trying to take my job. I got to go out there and work. So what? I led the league in receiving yards and touchdowns last year. That was last year. So what? I had a great game last game. That was last game. It's all about what can you do right now. That's how sports is. Nobody cared what you did yesterday. They cared about what you can do right now. So that was my mindset, trying to get better every single day. So every single day I look myself in the mirror and I said, did I do everything I could possibly do to get better? And every single day, at the end of the day, I would say, man, there were so many things I could have did better. I could have worked harder at this. I could have did that. So every morning I wake up, I have that drive knowing that I could get better. So that allowed me to stay on top, to continue getting those 1,000 yards, and continue getting those touchdowns, because I never let myself get comfortable. I was always uncomfortable, because the moment you get comfortable, that's when you stop growing. That's it for you. That's when you level out. But as long as you stay uncomfortable, good things are to come for your future.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Hey man, that's well said there, man. And just it's a segue to something, but he said something to me, Scott. He said he burnt me 10 to 15 times, right? So first, this is a true story. He may or may not remember this, but you remember this, Scott, because I told you this. So Milt, when I first came into the league, I went to Edmonton. And I was in Edmonton first. I get hurt playing against Saskatchewan. They put me on this ghost PR. And then when I got healthy, the secondary at Edmonton was good, but I was starting prior to me getting injured. So Saskatchewan signs me. Our first game, I'm playing against Winnipeg, right?
What year was this? 2000 or?
2000.
Okay. All right.
2000.
Richie Hall was a DC, right?
Yep. Richie. He was a secondary. Echeverry was a DC.
Echeverry was zero. Oh yeah, baby. They covered zero.
So listen, Scott, Kyrie, Milt. So they put me out there, right? They put me out there. Echeverry running zero defense. We got no help over top. I like Milt. I'm new to the game. The motion. I'm like, me and Milt come off of there, Scott, and I jam him pretty good. But once again, it's zero coverage, right?
No help.
This all Milt did. He slipped me, man, right? So when he slipped me, because Kyrie was getting sacked, he just lobbed it up. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm going to catch this dude.
Yeah. You'll catch him?
Yeah, so he literally, Scott, he was like 3 to 4 yards in front of me, but I couldn't close. I was like, why in the hell I can't catch this guy? He just running like this. So I almost, Milt, you almost cost me my career because of that catch, man. That's a true story. True story. Yeah. Man, Richie Hall comes because the game was tight, Scott. It was fourth quarter, because when he scored, Demetrius Bendros returned a kickoff. So we were right in the game. Man, Richie comes out of the booth, man. And Richie jacks me up, man. Literally. Damn. And I said, he was like, you got to make that play. I'm like, all right, coach, And I try to walk off. You got to make that play. And Scott, you know me very well, don't you? So I'm like,
man.
I say, Richie, what you doing? I said, what you doing? And I'm not saying anything against Richie, but this was just what really happened. I said, Richie, what are you doing? He's like, you got to make that play. So Richie's a little shorter than me. Yeah. So he looking up at me with this little scrawny face. I said, Richie, get your hands off me, man. he just holding on to me, man. He literally he jacking me up on the sideline. I said, Richie, get your hands off me, man. And Scott, I stepped back and I said some words I probably shouldn't have said to a coach. I said, Richie, if you don't get your hands off me, man, I'm going to beat you. That game almost cost. I didn't play again for 6 games because of you, Milt.
For real?
That's a true story. That is a true story. 2000, and I'm not saying this to be funny. I knew I was one of the better DBs. I just didn't understand the game. Like Milt said, it was running zero.
Even if you understand the game, and that cover zero,
you're dead. You're
if
dead.
you don't get to the quarterback in a second,
you're dead.
What type of DB you are? It's over.
Don't matter.
It's over.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's
Kari
over.
threw it to a spot. And It's over. So I was like,
too much field to try to jam me. I just got to run around you.
Yeah. That's all you did. That's all he did, Scott. He slipped me. Yeah. That's all he did. I jammed and I rolled him, and I looked in the backfield, and Milt did that little shoulder like this, and it was it. It was over. I didn't play.
That's a suicide defense, boy.
Man. That covers zero. It was, man. It really was. Yeah. It really was, man. And it's funny because that really leads into my next question. So, in doing that, man, I did a little research on you, Milt. You know, I do my research on people, you know. So they say you're famous for 6 things, man. 6 guarantees in life, right? Scott, if you ain't never heard this, pay attention. It said 6 guarantees in life, including that Milt Stegall will always be on time. Now, he said this earlier. Always look pretty. Always be in tip-top shape. And in transitioning, you transition effortless to the TSN broadcast desk. As an analyst, as your job, critiquing the next generation of athletes, man, knowing what you saw, how you competed, how we competed, and the talent level that was, you know, at our time. How hard was initially transition from being the guy, doing the hard work on the field, being the voice? Now you're breaking down other players' mistakes. You mentioned it earlier with your discipline, you know, did your self-discipline, those guarantees, make you a tougher critic, or did it give you more empathy from what you're seeing now?
No, a tougher critic. Ain't no empathy, bro. No, ain't no empathy. You can't be soft. And it's even tougher now. People always ask me, and I'm joking and I'm serious when I say this, why can't I coach? Because I'm not coaching all Milt Stegall. Because I know what I'm getting out of Milt Stegall. I know Milt Stegall go always be on time, go always be in shape, go always be prepared, go always be on point, where that's not always the case for all cats. I see cats now, they run a long route and they're tapping their helmet, they're coming out. I'm like, hold on, bro, we ain't never do that. We were in shape, but we never had to do that. Or they get a little nick and now they can't go. And I know it's a different game. We're dealing with different individuals. This generation is different, but it would be impossible for me to coach. So when I see some of these, and I say they're kids because most of them are young enough to be my kid, it's difficult, not difficult, but it's different to watch the way they move and the way they react and the way their mindset and the way they're wired. And I hear it all the time from guys I played with who are coaching now, and they say the same thing. It's just a different way. They say they can't be as hard on the players as as coaches were on us, because their reaction, because some of these guys, they'll just shut down. And that's unbelievable when the stuff we heard and the stuff you just talked about it, the coach, you know, Richie Hall was about to throw you out of the game or whatever. You do that now to a player, you're going to jail. They're going to call their parents and come get me, mommy, come get me, daddy. It's just different. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. I probably shouldn't say they're sophomores, but it's just different the way these players are wired. And when I'm watching them on film, when I'm watching them in the game, it's just a different beast. It's just like I said, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's different. And there's no way you couldn't pay me $1 billion to coach these kids. I used to train some kids. I had to stop doing that too, because I only know one way. And these kids don't understand that. So it's different. It's different.
Yeah. Definitely. Thanks for sharing that. Yep. Thank you. I say the same thing. I only know one way. That's the only way I know how. So if it's not that, leave me out of it. Agreed.
Yeah,
That's all I know.
and you know, gentlemen, you know what? It starts when these kids are young, and I just because I've been coaching 12, 13-year-olds, flag football, also some tackle, and you get emails from the parents. Oh, you know, my kid, you know, doesn't feel included in practice. He wants to play off. Right? You can, you know, those are the sort of things. Oh, you know, it's you have to, like you said, it's like walking on eggshells, and so that's why it is so difficult for guys from our generation to coach these kids from where we come from. And I had this conversation today where you talked about, you know, running a long route, Milt, and, you know, this day and age, and guys are tapping out. And someone was showing me a video of a guy training. And I said, you know, Chris Carter was just talking about that. Guys, this day and age are doing, like, they're training like certain aspects of the game. It's like more quick twitch drills, and so they may be a little bit more skillful. They could, you know, more explosive. They just don't have the endurance because when we were training, we may go. I was telling, we would go up and down the field, going one-on-ones. It'll be me and Jackie just going up and down the field, going in the huddle, coming out, going right back in 100 degrees, and so. Guys, you know, we were in better condition in terms of, you know, when the fourth quarter hit with these guys, that's why you're seeing more injuries, things of that nature too, right? So that's just what it is, man. It's a generation of trying. They want this, and no offense, but, and I'll get off that. It's like they want a reward for showing up, you know,
for showing up. Yeah.
For showing up late. Showing up late.
Showing up late, too. Late.
And not prepared.
17-year-old showing up late, blaming the parents. Like, come on, bro. Come on. So, I got to use my words wisely when I talk about that, because it can get ugly. 100%. That drives me crazy, boy. It drives me crazy.
Well, tell me this, Milt, man. Obviously, I'm sitting here amongst CFL royalty with both of you guys, so it's an honor. You know, we had G. Roy Simon on last week, one of the best to ever do it. In your opinion, give me your top 5 CFL receivers that you've seen, and that you've seen that came up with you. And give me the current top 5 right now in 2026.
Man, I wish he would have asked me this in all fair so I could have worked on it. All right, as far as coming up with me, of course, I got to put myself in there. I got to put them in order too, or
no certain order.
All right, because I'm number one, so I need to say order. So myself, Roy Simon, Alan Pitts. I think Alan was, his last year was 2000. I think Alan Pitts. Arlen Bruce in there too. That sucker was a nightmare.
Arlen Bruce. Yeah.
Let me see. That's 4, and it's between Nick Lewis. And
Copeland.
Yeah, Copeland's in there.
What was the dude who played for Montreal? Big Cahoon, Ben.
Cahoon, that's what I'm saying.
He was nice too.
It's between Cahoon. I would throw Cahoon, Copeland, and I got to pick one. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Cahoon. I'm gonna go with Cahoon as the 5th one.
Yeah,
I
agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, right. And right now,
currently, right now.
I'm gonna go Tyson Philpott. I'm gonna go Kenny Lawler. I'm gonna go Keon Hatchard. I'm gonna go Keyshawn Johnson in Saskatchewan. I'm gonna go. I gotta throw a Winnipeg in there, so I'm gonna go with Nick Dembski. I gotta throw a Winnipeg in there. Not just throwing him in there, but I always gotta have a Winnipeg in there. Yeah. So that's my top 5 current.
That's a good group. That's a good group.
Yeah.
That's solid, man. That's solid. Now I gotta ask you in continuation of that, because man, I'm sitting up here thinking of the names you said. and I had to face all them jokers. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And Scott, one of the things I shared with Scott Milt is a lot of people don't realize, like, I was told this, but I'm just repeating what I was told. But like you, I'm gonna claim it. I transformed the dime position because we didn't have to substitute. I could cover, I could tackle, I
Right.
could play
You
within
can
the
tackle.
box.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What is your, because I asked Giro the same question. Who were your toughest defenders that you faced?
The toughest of all, you remember a guy, Gerald Vaughn?
Absolutely. Played in Saskatchewan.
Played Saskatchewan. Oh, did Gerald play Saskatchewan?
He played in Edmonton. He played in Edmonton too. He played in Edmonton.
I think he was just Ottawa
Is
cover. He was
that's
in
Vaughn,
Winnipeg with
right?
me for a
No,
second,
I'm
too.
thinking of Shannon Garrett. I'm sorry. Shannon Garrett. I'm thinking Shannon Garrett. 22.
Yeah. I was going to say
Garrett.
Shannon
Totally
Garrett.
wrong.
I was going to say Shannon Garrett. Yeah, that's my man. But Gerald Vaughn was the toughest. Was the toughest I ever faced. Gerald Vaughn was about 6'2". He looked like you, Scott, but he played defensive back. He was about 6'2", ripped up, 225. You know, had a little Jerry curl just like you, Scott, up there, whatever. So
Oh shit!
But run like a 4-2, 4-3. And let me tell you what he used to do in cover zero, Jackie. He would play bump and run in cover zero. That's how strong he was, and how wide he was, and you know his he could cover at angles.
Oh, had to be long.
He was
too.
tough. He was tough. Yes. Shannon Garrett was tough. Shannon was tough too. Shannon Garrett was tough.
Jerron Bo, what about Jerron?
Jackie? I'm gonna give you flowers. Jerron was on my team, but
yeah, I know,
but he made going against everybody else easy. Everybody else going, yeah, he was the best of them all. So I faced the toughest in practice every single day. Every single day, I faced the toughest in practice. Yes. Omar, who played with Saskatchewan, was pretty good.
Hey, let's go on record though. The two of the best to ever do it said, and my man Jackie Mitchell was one of the best defenders they went against. Hey, that's all. Hey, man, that's all right, man.
For people who don't realize, besides quarterback, that Sam position is tough because one play you're covering Milt Stegall, the next play you're taking on a 330-pound lineman trying to tackle a running back.
Exactly.
People don't realize how tough that position is. And before Jackie played that position, they would have a normal linebacker in there. And then on passing downs, they would try to bring a DB. But Jackie revolutionized the position because I could do both. And now that's how the position is now. Now they have cornerbacks who play that same position now. Yeah, it's a tough position. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah.
Oh, man, thank you for that, Mel. Because that's what I was telling Scott. Like, for those who understand the CFL history, Scott, you got to understand, I'm facing number 1 or number 2 best receiver on every team. Every team in that slot. Every team. So the Milt Stegalls, the Jermaine Copelands, the Ben Cahoons, the Terry Vaughns, the Mike Moriellis, the Mike Clemens, the Gizmos, like, brother, like, I mean, it was Nick Lewis, Arland Bruce, G-Roy. Like, I'm facing 1 and 2 every play, if not every other play, due to whatever schematics they were doing. So, man, I appreciate that, Milt. It was such an honor, man. I tell people all the time, battling with you guys, it made me really understand what it was to be a professional. And like you said, I had to be ready. So that was my biggest thing. I wasn't coming into a game halfway. I wasn't like, man, no, I was like, I got to play Milt this weekend. You know, we play y'all 3 or 4 times a year. Then y'all got the little Mighty Mike Roberts back there busting out the backfield. They were a problem, man.
That's a tough. It's very, you guys are, and it's still to this day, very underpaid. Very underpaid for what they asked that Sam nickel position to do. Very underpaid, dude. Big time. It's a tough position. People don't realize how tough it is. It's tough. It's tough.
Yes, man. Yes. So, man, thank you for that, man. And like Scott said, man, it's an honor, man. So for you, you're widely considered one, if not the greatest wide receivers in Canadian football history. Hold the ultimate records, most career touchdowns, most receiving touchdowns, Yet, despite all the personal hardware, one thing eluded your playing career.
I knew it was coming.
That's a
I
great.
knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
I gotta ask. I gotta ask. But it's. I hopefully you'll understand where I'm going. So that was the one thing that eluded your career. But you said it earlier. You said before that what you built in Winnipeg, in the Winnipeg community, is actually far more than a championship ring. For the ultimate trophy in life, brother, how did you learn to find that fulfillment in the journey and the community rather than that final prize of winning that Grey Cup?
And I won't sit up here and lie and say it was easy. You know, we play sports to win
Play to
championships, and
win.
that's it.
Right.
That's it. That's it.
That's it.
I was on the same team for 14 years in the league with 9 teams, and I didn't win one. That sounds crazy. But as you mentioned, the stuff or the fulfillment that I'm still getting to this day from playing 14 years in Winnipeg. I mean, I could have 14 rings on my finger from 14 different teams, and you couldn't tell me I'm getting more of what I'm getting out of those 14 years I played in Winnipeg. And don't get me wrong, I would like to have won a Grey Cup, but the rings and the love and the flowers I get every single day, every single time I'm in Winnipeg or dealing with businesses or going out in the community there, you know, it's so much more than just putting a ring on my finger. So, like I said, I won't sit up here and lie. Say I wouldn't want a Grey Cup or 2 or maybe 3 or 4. But what I got out of those 14 years in Winnipeg are still paying dividends to this very day. So there's nothing you can say to me that could take that away and say, would you give up playing in Winnipeg for a ring? No. 2 rings, no. For 10 rings, no. Because I'm loved there so much. I'm cherished there so much. Every time I go back, they give me flowers. So there's nothing that can compare to my 14 years in Winnipeg. There's no amount of rings, no amount of money, nothing that can compare to my years and the fact that I'm still loved and cherished in Winnipeg.
Man, congratulations, man. And that's what it's about. Like you said, I felt the same way in Saskatchewan because the year I left, the next year they won a championship.
Right,
I was like, hey man,
2007.
can you get
Yep.
I was like, can I get a replica ring? They was like, nah. I was like, are you serious? But you know, it is what it is. But like you said, man, it was I played with a great group of guys, man. You know, and like yourself, man, played well in Saskatchewan, left a piece to history there, and you know, did well. So man, I totally understand what you're saying about true enough, that's the ultimate. But when you can walk back and go back into a city and walk in anywhere in the city and you're
Man,
loved and they're respected, they know who you are. Hey man,
yes,
hats off to that, brother.
that's it, man. I mean, I got a street
man.
named after me there, man. There are kids there who weren't even born when I was playing who know who I am because their parents, you know, they told them about me. So, man, that's the greatest feeling in the world, man. When I go up there, man, I feel
Absolutely.
like I'm walking on water, man. It's truly
There
amazing
you go.
that there's so. I've been retired for 18 years, and when I go back there, there's still so much love, like I'm still playing. It's truly amazing, man. It's a humbling feeling, and I love it so much. I won't lie, I love it so much.
Can't
Absolutely.
beat
I
it.
eat it up. Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Can't beat it, man. Yeah, man. As we start to wind down, one thing Jackie and I like to discuss, man, we're both big on emotional intelligence, relationships, and you know, marriage, and just the growth of a partnership. And obviously, you know, you've been married with your lovely wife for a number of years. Kind of talk about what she's meant to you, um, what it takes in your eyes to, if you were giving advice to a young man to have a successful marriage and to just continue to grow together.
I'm joking and I'm serious when I say this, and I tell all men before they get married, you can either be right or you can be happy. Choose to be happy. So that'll make life easier. But no, you know what? And I don't care what your wife looks like, and we're all married. We can talk about this, what the sex is like, all that. If that's what you're basing your relationship on, it's not going to work. Your foundation, first of all, in my opinion, and I'm not saying this is everyone else, God is our foundation. That's our foundation. And we're also in the business because it's a tug of war. It's a tug of war. So every now and then, one of us, we just have to drop the rope. You got to drop the rope and say, yes, this is how it's going to be. Because it's two people trying to do something possible, and that's occupy the same space. Two people can't occupy the same space. That's where communication has to come in, sacrifice has to come in. Then you also have to realize that, I say this to myself every single day, man, I'm with the greatest person in the world, man. My wife is the greatest individual in the world. There's no one else like my wife. She has a story like no other. She's a rose that came up from the concrete, and every single day I hit the lottery, man. Every single day I hit the lottery. So, as I said, man, it's a tug of war. It's not going to be easy. If it was easy, everyone would be married and no one would get divorced. But that's why you have to work on it. You have to communicate. You have to step back sometimes and say, okay, I'm gonna let you have this one, but I got to get one of these days. So, but it's a beautiful thing. Marriage is a beautiful thing. It's not easy, but I'm so blessed that I've been married to my wife for over 24 years now. We had 2 sons. Of course, you guys know that we lost one of them, but having a strong wife helps you get through anything. You know, we've gotten through this together.
Yeah.
Our son, we all gotten through this together, and if I didn't have my wife and have my son, you know, this would be a lot more difficult than what it is. But I got the greatest wife partner in the world, and God truly blessed me when he allowed me to meet her back in February 22nd, 1997. I remember that very day, that very night. So, as I said, it's not easy, but it's well worth it. It's well worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing too, man. We got to normalize. Sorry, Jack. We got to normalize treating our women like royalty. I think in our communities, and we were coming up, and I was guilty of it. We see a guy, you know, treating his woman like, you know, like gold, and we like, oh man, look at that simp, man. He, you know, and because that's what we were taught. Unfortunately, that's what we were brought up around, and we should treat our women like queen, like a queen, and in return, they're going to treat you like a king. You know,
right? Exactly.
You know, I'm just now starting to learn that, but but you know, I guess it's better late than never. Better late than never, right? But no, man. And before Jackie asks this last question, I know you mentioned, like, not to go into too much detail, but like, how did you guys get through that difficult time that you guys went through losing a son?
Yeah, how are we getting through it? You know, it's every day. It's every day. But as I just mentioned, I got my beautiful wife, son, and we got some great friends and family. Great friends and family, man, who allow us to lean on them, who are always checking on us. And part of that great friends and family are the people in Winnipeg, man. I don't know if you guys knew about this, but when I went back to work, and one of the first games was back in Winnipeg, man, and the ovation and the love, and it was the greatest moment I've ever experienced in Canada. And I did some great things on the football field. I've had some great times in the community. I made a big impact, but that ovation and the love I got from those fans in Winnipeg was, I mean, it still allows me to, it helps me even get through that tragedy that I went through still to this day. So as I mentioned, you know, a great wife, great son, we got a great foundation, great friends. They're always making sure that we're continue living life, because as you know, we're all going through something. We're all going through something. It's just depending on how we handle it and how we keep living life, because we only got one life to live. That's it. And this life is going to be over before we know it. So we got to continue enjoying it and continue enjoying life. And my son Chase would want us to do that. He wouldn't want us to be down here moping and not enjoying life. So we got to keep enjoying life, keep loving each other, keep having the best time of our life, because we go look up and it's going to be over. So every single day I wake up and I say, this is going to be the best day of my life. It's going to be the best day of my wife's life, the best day of my son's life. And I just try to do the things to make sure that is the case.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Man, listen now. Many people don't know this, Milt. So, man, thank you for sharing that. But that's why I stopped playing sports. I was in the same situation as you. I didn't have the years that you had with Chase, but the purpose of me leaving football, I lost a child, and that's why I left the game. Yeah, it wasn't broadcast. I walked away from the game because I had nothing else to give. I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
give anything of me because I felt that I had to protect my family.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the reason I left in 2000 after the 2006 season, man. And
Mm-hmm.
it's so crazy because that was a part of my, you know, my closing, or my last question. And great segue, man. But it's like, this podcast is about, it's about dreams. It's about, but also about, the ultimate, holding on to hope. As you said, your family is a absolute everything to you, man. And condolences. Like even when I heard about Chase, I called Scott. I was like, man, do you have Milt's number? And I'm assuming it changed at that time or whatever happened, but because I was just like, man, if you talk to him, just please give him my condolences. Because like I said, if you haven't been through that, no one understands that. And the crazy part about it is you come back to work, the entire broadcast community wept for you, man.
Mm-hmm.
You showed such an incredible strength by returning to TSN. They dedicate the season. Um, when a person experiences that at that magnitude, because you're always in the light due to what you
Right.
do. You see what I'm saying? So how? I think I know the answer, but I hope the fans would like to hear from you. How and where did you find the strength every day to continue, but also inspire others every single day?
Well, as I alluded to, I know my son Chase wouldn't want us not living our lives, not going forward and doing everything possible uh, to enjoy this life. And I also thought to myself, well, maybe if, when people see me, that may inspire them. They may have gone through something and they may see me having gone through something, a tragedy like that, and say, well, hold on, he made it through. I can pick myself up and make it through too. So that's what inspired me to keep going. And every single day, and you know this, Jackie, and I'm sure you're going through something, Scott. It's a struggle every single day. As I said, we're all going through something. We all want to just lay in the bed and say, I don't want to deal with life anymore. But we got to keep getting up. We got to keep enjoying life. We got to keep moving on. And as I mentioned, that's what Chase wants. Me and my family, my son, my wife, everyone, all his friends. We got to keep moving on. We got to enjoy life. We got to go out there and shed light, and people see us and say, "Wow, this person is still going strong." And that's why I get up every day and make sure I go strong and have a smile on my face and a pep in my step. And I'm going to go out there and have fun. It's great having my panel members. Man, they're great. They're great. Cade and Enoch and David Sanchez. I call him the little brother I never wanted. Man, they are excellent, man. We joke and laugh, but they also make sure I'm doing good. So got a great folks I work with, great family, man. I'm just going to make sure we're moving in the right direction. That's all we can do, man. Just keep enjoying, because you don't want to mess
Absolutely.
around and years and years go by and you're in this bad mindset. Go look up and life go be over, man. We got to keep moving in the right direction. Got to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, man,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
man. It's man, thank you for sharing that because he's right, Scott. Every day, I battle every
Mm-hmm.
day. And Milt,
Yeah.
like you said, I saw your face when I said it. You was like, but yeah, man, I didn't say anything. People who were close to me, they knew I just faded to black. I didn't care about the game anymore. I didn't want to be around it. Not because of I couldn't play anymore, because I was up for free agency, but
Right.
man, I just applaud you and your family, for being as diligent, as you guys have had to be, whether it be in spotlight or behind closed doors, because that's when the magic happens. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Behind those doors, man. And so
Yes.
that's when you really got to dig in and you got to be like, hey, we got to get through this. And that's when
Right.
that community, as you spoke about, comes together, wraps their arms around you. They circle the wagons. And like you said, those check-in calls, those text messages, those little
Yes.
things, man, it
Yes.
helps you through that
Yes.
time, man. So I totally understand. And in closing, man, this has been cool, man. With Milt, they call you the uncrowned king. And because of the championship ring eluded you. We that ain't mean nothing. But listening to you today, man, it's crystal clear, man, that the legacy you built in the community, the resilience you shown as a father, and the joy you brings fans every single week, more than any piece of jewelry. You're out there giving you to these people. You're in front of this camera. You are giving your experiences. You're giving your laughter. You're giving the the joy, of who you are and what you've been able to accomplish, man. Um, you're a champion of life, man. And thank you for sharing your heart. Thank you for sharing your journey. And to anyone who's listening for this at home, man, the biggest thing about this, dreams don't always follow a straight line. It really doesn't. Sometimes an
No.
NFL exit leads to a Hall of Fame career and a Hall of Fame destiny somewhere else, just like it's done for you and just like it's done for others. Sometimes the greatest victories happen long after the final whistle blows, man. So for me to you, keep pushing, keep showing, stay in tip top shape, keep looking good, keep being on time. And man, just keep welcoming you. I just want to thank you for being a host on our Dreams podcast, man, from Locker Room to Reality. It's been an absolute pleasure for me, man. And Scott, I'll let you say some words if you like, brother.
Just no, man, that's awesome, man. It's just our, we ask all our guests this final question as we wrap her up. If you can take, today's Milt Stegall and you had a conversation with 18-year-old Milt Stegall, like what does that conversation look like, and what's the best advice you would give him?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna let him know that don't put those hair care products in your hair so you have hair when you get 50 years old. But
no S curl,
man, don't put that Dax or whatever in your hair so you have some hair. But you know what? I would say, man, just enjoy every day. Enjoy living the moment. Live in the moment. Don't concern yourself with 2 days you can't control. Yesterday or tomorrow. Live in the moment. Because when I was younger, I was always concerned about, okay, I need to get a college scholarship, or man, if I don't make it in the pros, what type of job I'm gonna get? Okay, I'm in the pros now. Am I gonna get cut? Blah blah. All this stuff or whatever, man. And everything worked out. Everything worked out. So just live in the moment. Enjoy the moment. That's it. Enjoy the moment. That's all you can do, because that's all you can control. You can't control what happened yesterday. You can't control what happened tomorrow, man. Just live in the moment and do the best you can in that moment. That's all you can do.
Yeah, well said. Well said, man. Well said.
Man,
well, Dreams Park. Oh, man.
This has been an explosive show there, brother.
Yeah. But just real quick, man. Real quick, I just want to say, first of all, thank you guys for having me on, man. It's great talking to you guys. Scott, I really appreciate those things you said about me, man. And you never know who's watching, man, but I appreciate about those things, because I always try to set a good example, and it's just me being me, man. So I appreciate that. I also appreciate you, Jackie, man. I love what you guys are doing, man, and you're blessing people. You're having an impact, man. It was just a honor and a pleasure being on, man. I didn't know what I was getting into, man, but I love the fact that I came on, man.
And thank you for trusting us, Milt, because I know, and when you're in the media world, you have to be careful. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, with Dreams Podcast, Locker Room to Reality, discipline, respect, education, accountability, maturation, success. I'm going to go ahead and say it, man. We got the best receiver in CFL history.
There you go. Oh, you
kind of waiting on this guy. He was like, this is like, what are you talking about?
Hey, hold on, Scott, man. Hold on. You kind of hesitated like you didn't want to say it, bro.
No. I see it up close.
You rocking back and forth. Come on, Scott, man. Don't disrespect me, man.
I saw Scott. He put his hand on his hip like, what you talking about?
Yeah. I got it. Hey, we got to give it to him, man. We got to give it to him.
Hey, it is what it is, man. You earned it.
Wow,
you earned it the right way, man.
Wow.
Yeah. That's all. So
hey, all right, man.
Yeah.
All right,
From
man.
us to you guys, man. Locker Room to Reality. This has been one for the road.
All right, man.
You got it.
We're out.
All right. See y'all later. Peace.
Yeah.